Kids, and I'm joined with Lily. We're here again to join you in another cool art project. Today's art project is a watercolor painting inspired by Emil Nolde. It's gonna look a little bit like this. It's a super wet watercolor and we can't wait to tell you more about it. Well, did you want to tell them anything, Lily, or should I go ahead and tell them about the supplies?
Tell them about the supplies.
Okay, so we want you to gather up your supplies. What you're gonna need today is a piece of watercolor paper. If you don't have any watercolor paper, you could use white cardstock, but watercolor paper is going to absorb this paint a lot better. You're going to need watercolor paints. You can either use these simple, it's like a praying school set, but you can get great colors. This painting here was made with these simple watercolors. Or you can get this 36 color pack, which we also have available on our website. And you're gonna need paper towels. You're going to need 2 paintbrushes, a large one and a small one, and a water jar. And lastly, if you have any masking tape, that is going to help you mask off the edges so that you have really clean edges, and it makes the picture look really clean in the end.
Be sure to pause the video here and gather your supplies if you haven't already. Then unpause when you're ready to begin.
So this artist who it's inspired by, his name is Emil Nolde, and he's done all kinds of paintings. He was doing these kind of paintings about 100 years ago. This is our example painting, and I should get this picture out. This is what it was inspired by, this work of art of his. I'll zoom that in a little closer. And these are 2 more of his paintings. We have this one with a lot of different types of flowers in it. And then we have this, which is the cover of one of his books. Now, the one thing they all have in common is that the paintings are very blurry. And over 100 years ago, that was a really new style of painting. They were really brightly colored and they were really blurry. So we're gonna do one of these blurry floral paintings and teach you all that you need to know. So I'm gonna scoot things out of the way so you can see our work area better. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to tape the edges of the paper. So
mine is already taped, but my mom here will show you how to do that.
So you take the tape and you pull a little bit out. And then you line it up with the edge of your paper. And then you hold the corner that's still closest to the tape and you whip it and rip it away from you, and then you'll get a really clean cut.
Yes.
You're gonna do this on all 4 sides.
And also, if you do get any extra tape on the end, you do not want to wrap it around because then it's hard.
It's really hard to get off later after you've worked on it.
Yes.
So we just rip that off like that.
Yes.
So I will do the other 2 sides while you guys are taping yours. And then we'll be ready to get started.
But you don't have to tape yours like this. We just do it so we get a clean, nice edge.
Yeah, and then the watercolor doesn't run off the edge all over the table as well. That's the other perk. So I've got my paper taped up. Lily's got hers taped up. We have 2 different kinds of watercolors. Mine are kind of like a gooey watercolor. Lily's are more like watercolor tablets. Those require a little more water on them in order to get to get really colorful. So when we start with this type, I kind of go and get them all a little bit of water like that.
I can do that.
So I'll let Lily do the last row. On these, you don't really have to do that. And you also might have the really high quality watercolors that come in little mini tubes. And if you have those, you can do that project with this too. These are just more inexpensive, kind of kiddie quality versions to use. So I'm gonna get my watercolor out. The first thing we're gonna do is come up with centers of flowers. I'm gonna take, actually, let's back up because Whoa. What makes these paintings so blurry is that we are gonna wet this paper. So you can take your paintbrush and you can just go side to side. You probably can't see it from here because water is transparent. But what I'm doing is I'm pretty much wetting my entire piece of paper, like I'm just washing it or something. You don't want any big puddles. You want it evenly wet. And if you have an old paintbrush like mine, sometimes a hair will come off. I just see a hair that came out. Okay, and I'm getting the entire paper wet. So once I have the entire paper wet, and I go right up to the paint edge to make sure I've gotten the whole thing wet. Okay, how you doing, Lily? You're doing good. And you can tell sometimes if you've got light or shine, if there's a dull spot, oh, that must mean that there isn't any paint there. And water there. Gosh, I'm totally twisting my words today. Okay, that looks great. Now, it depends on how many flowers you want. In the masterpiece by Emil Nolde, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 flowers in it. But you don't have to have all of those flowers facing forward where you see the centers. So I want you to give me at least 6 centers. The centers can be yellow or green. So I'm gonna take yellow because I can always add green to it. And I'm gonna pick.
I'm gonna do yellow also.
You know what, I can't lift this up towards you because of the fact that everything will drip off. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint this for me upside down and for you the right direction. Lily's gonna paint hers that way. But I'm gonna have my stems down at the bottom and this is gonna be the top.
And you wanna do this with your big brush.
We are still using the big brush. We are using the big brush for almost everything.
Yes.
So I'm going to find 7 spots that I'm making.
And I have quite a few different varieties of yellow. I have this yellow, I have this yellow, I have this yellow, and I have this yellow. So if you want to do a specific yellow, like a bright yellow, you can do that, or you could go with like one of the dirty yellows that like I have.
Okay, so go for it.
So I'm gonna do this.
So I started with these yellows, and you see how they blurred out right away? I can give them a second coat, the ones I want to be brighter. So I start out with them pretty bright, and then they just spread out. You know what? It reminds me of like tie-dye, how it just like spreads out. So Lily's getting hers. My paper was a lot wetter, so things spread out more. But I'm getting them to look like this.
I'm just kind of dabbing it. So
them,
how
yeah.
many?
5 to 7. It's up to you. Because you're going to have some sideways flowers that you won't be able to see the center. Okay, so you've got yours. And they're all blurring out. And you can just soak it back in the water. Yeah, just soak your brush in the water in between. So now, some of those I'm going to add green to. So I'm going to take my brush again and get some green. Okay,
I'm not gonna add green to mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mine, I'm going to add green to some of mine in the center. Not all of them. I'm going to add green to 4 of mine. Like that. And see, I want it to blur, but I don't want it to totally fall off. And now, if you get something that is kind of goes a little bit crazy, like this one ran off to the side, then I'm going to take a paper towel and fold it into like triangles, like this. I keep rolling it, and then I have this point. And this, I can just absorb it back up. I always think it's like it's sponging it up or slurping it up, like when you go to the dentist and they put that thing in your mouth that, you know, gets rid of all the saliva. It's kind of like it's taking the extra water away because it just ran out. But I love when I get a bright green spot like that. So if I don't use as much water and I get some green, I can make it brighter like that. See? So I can give it another coat if I want. This one really spread out, so I can blot that one if I want. It's whatever you want. So this one really went crazy because I really made my paper wet, because I want it to stay wet for most of it. Okay, we can always revisit, or you can take your smaller brush and add the green without it being so big. Like that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 5 of our flowers and we're gonna make those like forward. You're gonna make a circle around your center. So I'm gonna take red, well, I'm gonna take orange. And then I'm gonna add red on top of
I'm
some
gonna do
reds.
one of my orangey reds.
So while the paper is still wet, I'm gonna go around it and I'm gonna wiggle around it like that. And I wanna get right up to my center. And if it does that again, I can always just suck some of it out like that or blot it out. If my paintbrush is too wet, I just run it into my paper towel and rub some out. So here, I'll just go like that. So now I'm going to another one. I'm using the orange, really rubbing it in. Now this one I'm gonna make a forward flower.
I like this color. It's like
And I'm doing it nice and loose.
I like that.
Oh, I like that. This one I'm going around it, but I want it to be bigger than that. So I'm gonna add, oops, sorry, a second layer around it. This one up here, I'm gonna make that a forward facing one. Even though it didn't have green in the center, I'm still gonna make it go like this. And see where my tape is? I'm gonna pretend like I go past that area. Just like when you make an image out of a photograph, you know things go past the edge of where it prints. So this is just going past my edge. I don't have to fit everything right in the middle, do I?
Yeah, mine made a lot of foam. Like,
oh yeah, yours did. Yours got bubbly. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do one more forward facing flower, and it's going to be this one. And I'm gonna make it a little wetter, because I want it to be a little. So I'm just gonna give it a minute and let that dry out a little. Those look great, Lily.
those are my forward facing.
Okay, these are mine. So I've got this one corner that's going crazy running, so I'm gonna go ahead and blot it. Remember, you can blot. Blotting is like the way to erase in this, but you don't want to rub it away. You just want to blot it. Okay, so now I want to add, I want to do some side flowers, side view flowers. So to do a side, I'm going to make this one look sideways right here. So what I'm going to do to make this one look sideways is I'm going to take my brush, get the orange again, and I'm just going to do it on I'm going to make like 3 little blobs like that. So you can see that's the center and it's sideways, and these are surrounding it. Cool. Looks like the letter C, kind of, with that little.
With the same color?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna add darker colors to it to make the image look a little different in a minute. And then my last one hidden in here, I'm gonna make that a little flower. That's like a little bud, like that. So you can make it, but you gotta have your center smaller if that's a smaller flower. That looks great. Nice. So hopefully you're finding this kind of easy at home, but you know, there's really no mistakes in this. Remember, anytime that your paint runs farther than you want it to, blot it. And everything so far is pretty light. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a darker color. If you picked red and you want it darker, you can add a little purple to it. I picked orange, so the color nearest to it that I want darker is gonna be red. So now I'm gonna kind of add water to my red and stir it. That's why I needed this, get my red really juicy is what I call it when I want to
I
color
have this
it.
dark red and I had an orange.
You can borrow my bright red if you want.
So I'm gonna do this dark red.
And there's also like a purpley red too.
Yeah.
So now what I'm gonna do, if you see in here, there's some flowers that are orange and some are red and some have both colors. Now you're gonna make some of them more intense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to this one and I'm not gonna cover all my orange. I'm only gonna add red to part of it. So then I'm going to this one, I'm only gonna add red to part of it. But I'm going around it, but I'm not covering all my orange because I still wanna see some of that orange because I think it's pretty. Now if it looks too dried out, add a little dab of water to it, like that. See, this one kind of ran into that one. And I'm gonna put some red on that one. And I just go through all my flowers and see which ones I want to add red to. My sideways flower, I'm gonna put the red on that outside edge. Then over here.
You don't have to put red on all of your flowers.
No. Ooh, yours looks great, Lily. Okay, this one I'm gonna add some over here. So remember, you're not completely covering your first color of petals. You're only adding this to parts of it. There you go.
There, I think I'm done.
So then once it starts to blend out, it loses its vibrancy. But we're gonna add some more of that color when we're gonna let it dry a little bit, okay?
I think I'm done with my red.
You are? Okay, great.
Wait, you did it to all of your flowers?
Yeah, but I still left some of my orange showing.
Yeah.
You just did those.
Do you
so
think
you're
I
fine.
should do all
That
of
one's so
those?
big, maybe add a little red to that one.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we're do is we're gonna pick out what color our background's gonna be. It's best to have a light color so that these pop out. So you can have yellow or you can have a really light green or something. I think I'm gonna have a super light blue. Now, how you get like a really light blue color? This one I had yellow, so you can have yellow. How I'm gonna get a really light blue color is that I'm gonna rub my palette and get blue, and I'm gonna put it in the background. But I want it lighter than that, so I'm just gonna add water to it and move it around.
Is this the background color?
This is your background color is next. Background is gonna be everything that was left white, okay? So go into it and try not to touch the wet flowers.
So can you do it any color?
Any color, but you need it light.
Oh, a light color.
A light color. So you just pick the color you like. See how
Or
it's
you
bright
can
blue?
do like a dark color
And
and
you
then
add water.
add a lot of water
Yes.
to it.
And that's what I'm doing, because blue is normally a really dark color. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna add a lot of water to it once I place some of that color down.
I'm doing this purplish, like
Now you don't
bright
want it to
purple violet.
bleed into your flowers. So stay a little bit off, try not to overlap your flowers. You can get a wet area and then pull it in like that.
And to get those like tight spots, you can use your
You can use your smaller brush. Yeah, or you can just get that background wet again, and then you can take the small brush and add some of that blue, like this. Ooh, look at this, Lily, this is fun.
What?
Like this, you add some color, and then you take the skinny brush and watch while it's wet.
Ooh, that
It's kind of got like a tie-dye look.
I might do that.
Okay. So that's totally up to you. Now, if your color from your flower runs into your background, give it a blot. And then we're gonna do this one.
See, look, I have some of these really small spots
Yeah.
that are
Just use your
background space.
tiny.
I'm gonna use
Yeah,
my
or you don't
tiny.
even have to put color in those.
So it's completely up to you.
Yeah. Alrighty, we're looking good. Hopefully at home, you're feeling good about your painting. You're thinking, gosh, this is pretty easy to make a masterpiece. This is pretty much an all ages project. If you want to learn more about the artist Emil Nolde, go ahead and Google him. I mean, every artist we tell you about, you can always learn more about on your own. Find out why he's famous and what other, there are lots of paintings of his online if you search images of Emil Nolde's paintings. Anything that you want to learn more about, boy, you can find it on the internet. It's like I'm an advertisement for the internet. Okay, so we've got that. Got all this going. Oh, I'm gonna put some blue in this space right in here because that's in between. And we're gonna let that dry a little bit. And while that's drying, I'm gonna take a look at my painting and see if my background ran into my flowers or if my flowers ran into my background. And right here, I got a little bit of that. So I'm just gonna blot it a little and rub it a little. Oh! Didn't wash out that brush. So let me just blot that a little more. And then I'm just gonna use plain water to rub that back in.
There's that thing.
Yeah, I like that. That's gonna be really dark. Okay, Lily, your background's looking good too. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm letting that background dry a little. Now I'm gonna add one more level of vibrancy to my flowers because I gave it a few minutes to dry a little. So now I'm gonna take my red again and I'm going to add a little bit of bright red again to my flowers. So now I'm going like this. It's still wet, but it's not as wet as it was before. So now the brighter color will stay on it. So I'm just kind of building up layers of color. So this one, and I'm not completely covering the whole flower. And then that will create some shadows and some shape. Okay. We're just, adding on and adding on, making it more and more vibrant. So now my flowers are looking more like this. I'm gonna add some bright red to that one. I'm gonna make this one look like it's in front of that one by adding a shadow right here. If it'll stay, I don't know. How's it going, Lily?
Good, I got some paintbrush hairs.
That's okay. When it's dry, if you get a paintbrush hair that falls out, if you wait like an hour after you've finished your painting and the entire paper's dry, those things you can just rub right off. So don't worry about it. That might be an older paintbrush that we had been using. But yours looks great. Are you ready to move on? Now, if you want the centers of any of your flowers to look darker, go back and add a touch of dark color like that green. This is how we're getting it more vibrant. But we still have that blurry look with some vibrant colors mixed in. Alrighty. Good. Looking good, Lily. Okay, next we're gonna conquer the stems. So now we need our skinny brush. You ready, Lily?
Yeah.
Okay, we need our skinniest brush and we need some green. And we need to make sure it's juicy but not too runny. Now, all our stems are gonna go to one point. So in this image right here, you see there's one little area with some leaves and then all the stems come from that. So I'm gonna make mine down, I'm gonna put an X on my tape right here. And that's where all my stems are gonna come from. So you do your, this is gonna be my body.
Actually mix two of the paints with on my canvas.
So make an X. Okay. So from that area, what I want you to do is give me about 6 lines, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then each one of those is going to aim to a flower. Now this you gotta pay attention to because it's a little tricky. If I have a flower over here and it came all the way from here, it's not gonna make a straight line there. It's gonna bend. It's gonna go up and come over here and go over to that flower. See, like that. Then this one, whoa, it got a little red in it, so I can slurp that out or leave it with the red.
2, 3,
Or give it some more green.
4, 5, 6.
Okay. You can do 7 if you get 7 flowers.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or they can look like grass. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a flower like this little one here and say, oh, if this flower had to get down there, it would go through here, it would stop and go behind these flowers and then connect. Then this flower here, it would go down in here and stop and then reconnect down there. And so on. This one might go all the way from here over to that one. And then this one here, we don't even see it maybe. It just comes out to there. So we don't see where every stem goes. This one, okay, this one goes up to that one. Let's make that one blurrier. Okay. So we want to get those to each place. I'm going to push this intense red around because I got a lot of it. Okay, whoops. Okay, so now we've got that blurriness. And then if you want to add some light green little leaves at the bottom, you can do that too. To get light green, what I like to do is take yellow, put it in my little side of my tray, get a little bit of green on it, and then blend it together and I get like a light green. Then I can maybe go like this and have like a leaf over here. And a little bit over here. And maybe I have a leaf in the middle. Whoops. Maybe I have a little leaf in the middle here. And then I'm gonna see if there's any more of those runny spots I can slurp up the paint from. Dry out my paintbrush, push it around. And if I wanna get any really dark red spots, I can try to do that in an area that needs to still be wet. I'll just add a little bit of drier paint to it, like this, and that's how I get that really bright, vibrant color, like the red. So I think mine's just about finished. So hopefully you're getting close to feeling finished, and you've got some bright colors. And I'm gonna give Lily a minute to get her stems on, and then you can make a few of those wiggly leaves at the bottom. Are you ready, Lily, to unveil yours?
Just have to do the little green leaves.
Okay, she's gonna finish up her green leaves. I'm gonna start peeling my tape. I gotta make sure there's nothing that's too runny. If you have the time, you can leave the tape on overnight and really take your time to let it dry. For me, I want to show you how it looks when it's completely done. You can see me unveiling it. I might not be picking it up too much though, because it might still drip. And I'm keeping my hands, my dirty part of my hands off of my edges. Wow, look at mine though. Oh, that looks cool. I like how you did that. Alrighty, so let's peel. Let's blot it. Let's blot it first.
Yeah, because that's a bit crazy.
Okay. Okay. And then that part we want to blot a little. Don't hold it up all the way because it might run. Okay, you got it.
I got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I'll whoop. Uh-oh. Here, let's pull away our paints.
Also, we pull our tape at an angle so that, and slowly, so that none of the paper comes off or it gets torn.
Hopefully you are collecting all your art. Maybe you're giving it away as gifts, but if you do keep it all, you can make like a little art gallery in your room, or set it up, hang it on the refrigerator, whatever you decide to do. But just make sure you share it by showing it off. There you go. Wow, Lily, look at yours. So here we go. Ta-da! And we're so glad you joined us. Keep making cool art. If your class will be framing their artwork, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. If your class isn't framing your artwork, no worries. I'll just catch you on the next lesson. Now, what you're going to need to frame the artwork are a few supplies. You're going to need a cardboard backing that matches the size of the artwork that you are going to mount. You're going to need a glue stick, tape, your label, and a piece of cellophane. It might be rolled up or it might be flat. And you're going to need something to mount the artwork. Well, before I get started on mounting, I'm going to make sure that I have my label. That maybe you've already written your name and date, and maybe you haven't. If you haven't, get that name and date on there. It's really important to know when you made it, because you might have this thing for years, for decades. Your parents might frame it and stick it in their home, and they want to know, how old were you when you made that? And they can figure that out from the date. Or maybe you're going to be really successful and it's going to be worth millions of dollars one day. Who knows? I put a little glue on the back of that. You don't need tons of glue, just enough to stick it down. And then you're going to put it on the back. How do you know? Are you going to put it where the art's vertical or where it's horizontal? Well, you got to decide by what kind of art you have. I have a vertical piece, so I need my label to read vertically. And there it is. I flip it over, and now I'm going to make some tape loops. Well, this curly tape that I just took off, I can reuse because, you know, it's less trash in the earth. So what I do is I roll it the same direction and unrolled, and I make a tape loop. And I just press it down. Then I make another one. That's messy, but it's still gonna work. No one's gonna see it as long as the sticky side is out.
I don't want it to hang over the edges because then it might show. I only need 4 of these, and I also press them down. I don't keep them in the puffy loop shape. So I have this big ball of tape. I just pull off some of it somewhere and then roll it up, press it down. So now I've got my 4 pieces of tape. I'm going to lay this on top and I'm going to match up the corners so it's flush with the board. Whoop, it's not over there, so I adjust it. And I push it down, but I don't touch the art because I don't want it to smear. It might be oil pastel, it might be chalk pastel, it might be something else that's smeary. So now I'm ready to wrap with cellophane. So I take my cellophane and I open up the roll if it's not a flat piece, and I don't want it to keep rolling up. So I'm going to flip it over so it doesn't roll up. Then I lay it out and I center this, or if it's a lot bigger, I can see that I have even amounts on each side, but this side I got a big piece. So I can just trim that. Don't over trim it, make sure it can fold over to the back. And now just move that. And I'm going to start on one side. I'm going to fold over. It's kind of like wrapping a gift. And I need my tape handy. I might have a little tape that doesn't have a weight on it, and then I'm just keeping it really close to me. But what I'm doing is I'm going to rip it and whip it on the tape. Gonna rub that down. I go to the opposite side that I just taped. That's across from it. And I put my second piece of tape. Then I do the 2 sides. I fold it over, put 1 piece of tape there, go to the opposite side, right over here. Fold it over, get my tape on it. Now I do each of the corners. What I want to do is tuck in the cellophane so it doesn't show from the front. How I do that is I pinch this together, makes a little triangle, and then I fold this a few times and roll it down. And I can use 1 piece of tape, or if I need 2, I can always use 2. Then I turn this and I do the next corner. And I turn it again, and I pinch it, I fold it, I roll it until it's flat. Make my tape go across, and the last corner, I pinch it together, I fold it, I roll it, and I press down. And I check it out. It looks like it's nice and tight. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Oh, nice and tight. Now I can rub my hand on top of it and it doesn't smear. Ta-da! And this is how it turned out. So this is going to protect it. It makes a great presentation, and it's makes me feel like my artwork is amazing. And also, your artwork is amazing. Everyone's is going to look different. No one's gonna look exactly like mine, but it doesn't need to. I just want you to have fun making cool art, learning about new artists, and building some skills while I teach you a few new techniques. I hope you're having fun making cool art, and we'll see you at the next lesson.